All right. Let's get into it.
Yeah. And 5, 4.
Well, it's Friday. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I was practicing the super fast intro.
Justin's ready now. Ready? Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Well, it's Friday.
Oh, hey, welcome back to another edition of Warfighter podcast. I'm John, that's Scott. I had to think about it. Justin's over there. And we already started talking, and so we had to cut our conversation short to start recording so you guys can be a part of this as well. So Justin, throw that question back up on the screen.
Well, we were looking through comments to try to figure out.
We were doing what Joe Rogan said never to do. Don't ever go to the comment section on YouTube.
and we were looking for people who were shitting on what we were saying. And most of the people are pretty nice, actually, which is kind of crazy. But this guy brought one up. We were talking about, I think one of the episodes, I don't know which one it was, but we were talking about how you smoke in your vehicle.
Well, I think we were talking about getting rid of the cigar butts to get rid of the smell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one guy says that I promote forest fires. You can wait till your cigar goes out to throw the butt out. I'm just going to throw that out there.
But the cigars go out on their own.
They do. They're not going to really start a forest fire.
Like I could throw this in a trash can right now, and I guarantee you it's not going to catch fire.
It's a small chance, but yeah.
But yeah, so this guy was saying, he goes, he was saying it wasn't true, whatever we were saying, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but he said the way that you keep your vehicle from smelling like smoke is you turn off your AC recirculate, direct it so it comes out the floor and not the face vents, leave one window cracked and turn it to high. Problem solved.
And I kind of agree with him.
And I don't believe that your AC system would affect it. The only way that it would affect it, and we were almost getting to this before we stopped and started to talk. The only way that I think it would affect it is if you have a side window cracked, and that's what you're using to blow smoke out, and your AC vent is like in the way of it, blowing like past you.
Which is why he said to put it on the feet.
No, I get that, right? So as long as it's not blowing where the cigar smoke would go out that window, that cigar smoke's going out that window. Like, and that's what I said. Like, I smoked cigarettes forever. And my biggest thing when I smoked cigarettes when I quit was the hardest time was every time I got in a vehicle because I'd light up a cigar and or a cigarette and start driving.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, I've been smoking in vehicles forever. But so once that window's cracked and you're at speed, that air exchange that's going through that window, the only thing that's going to prevent it is blowing that smoke in a different direction than going out that window. So if you have your AC vent,
I agree with that.
in front of your cigar, then it's probably going to fill the whole, you know.
So you were getting to the point where you were saying I usually smoke with my sunroof open.
That's true.
That is true, but not in all the vehicles.
Yeah, because some they don't work.
My Expedition, it doesn't work as good.
Yeah.
And so we usually use the side window.
Yeah.
Because you have all the space in the back.
Right.
Our trucks work a little better because it's like a wall back there.
Yeah.
But this has to work a little bit. Because if we turned the AC off in this room, the smoke would just linger, right?
Yeah.
Now
So I don't think he's saying turn it off. He's turning off the recirculate.
No, he said to turn it on high.
Turn the AC on high, but turn the recirculate off.
Right.
And he's talking about to keep your vehicle from smelling, which I get because now you're not running smoke through your cab filter, your filter, your internal filter and stuff like that. I'd never put recirculate in my vehicle.
I do when it's 100 and not when I'm smoking.
Yeah.
But if it's 120 degrees outside, your vehicle cools off faster on recirculate because it takes the cool air, runs it back through the air.
No, I understand how it works.
So it cools it off a little quicker in the hot weather.
Yeah.
But usually I leave it off because I am smoking and I want the air. I want it to create a positive.
I like fresh air. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as it gets like this morning driving into work, I had my windows down.
Yeah.
My AC was on.
Right.
But I had my window. You know what I mean? I like fresh air. I like the air movement, you know?
No, I mean, this works too.
Yeah.
I think that, when he said to direct it to the floor, I think, because if you have the face vents, sometimes like when I'm just driving, right?
Yeah.
It's blowing the smoke not out the window.
Yeah.
It's just blowing it into the vehicle a little bit more. So I can see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you create that flow of air.
See,
right?
My biggest problem And I tell this to all kinds of people, and very few people actually listen. On most vehicles, on your AC system, you have, especially on the newer vehicles, you have your dual climates.
Yeah.
You know, you can either sync them or run yours and your passengers separate.
Yeah.
And you have a dial where you can set your temperature. It's not like your blue to red.
Right. You have the auto button.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm getting
thermostat,
to.
yeah.
So you set it at 69 because that's what you set it at in a vehicle, and you press auto, and then you don't touch it until you sell the vehicle.
That is, or until
Your wife or girlfriend or
any
passenger.
other person drives it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when he was telling all these settings and everything like that, it was kind of like a foreign language to me because I just auto done. And it stays like that until I get another vehicle.
Yeah.
But that's why I can't do that, because then I'd have to mess with all my settings and change it to the going on the floor and
I mean, the 3 buttons it would take to fix, however.
and then hitting auto again. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
it's
so much.
such an inconvenience. Yeah, but that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of it has to do with the vehicle that you're into.
Yeah,
Like like you were saying about only some vehicles the sunroof works.
yeah. Like the Maverick doesn't work as good.
No,
The Super Duties, it works great.
it works great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
F-150s work great.
The Expedition, it doesn't
No.
work as good.
A GMC Yukon, side windows, not the sunroof.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's the same thing though, because it's a big SUV. You got all that internal space. Yeah.
Well, I think you're taking the Expedition has its own rear air system.
Yeah.
So if that's on high, it has to be sucking air from the front, I would imagine.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I can see.
But it's, when air comes in, like from the sunroof, when air comes in, it has to go out as well. There's equal pressure going both ways.
I don't think,
Or else your car would turn into like farting into smart car.
right. But if you do your sunroof, I don't think you're letting air in, you're letting air out.
Both. It works both ways.
It depends how you have it open.
It still works both ways though.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, because all the
Next time you do it, hold your cigar up around the edge of it and see where the smoke goes.
smoke goes out.
Not all the way around it. There's always an exchange.
Yeah, but I think
Because
what I'm saying is the exchange is coming from your air conditioning. That's where the intake is going. Because as soon as I open my sunroof, my vehicle gets 15 degrees warmer.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's sucking air conditioned cool air in and only kicking air out, where's that warm air coming from?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I think we beat that subject to death. But yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of variables
There is.
that
There's a
go
lot
into
of
smoking in a vehicle.
Yeah. This
Now,
guy,
what was that, Justin? 15 minutes probably?
That's right at 8 minutes, boys.
8 minutes. Okay. So, we've been smoking in a vehicle for way too long if we just had an 8-minute conversation about airflow.
so then the next comment here is this guy clearly supports wildfires. The cigar is not going to light a wall. I'm not going to. I don't live anywhere.
He also fought wildfires.
I did.
So,
Yeah. But in San Antonio, it's all concrete. You're not going to catch anything on fire.
So actually, there's a funny story. I was at a ranch in South Texas, and we were driving around. We had a big group of people down there. We probably had like 6 or 7 side-by-sides.
Yeah.
And one of the evenings, we were playing tag on the ranch.
Right.
And so everyone was in a side-by-side, and you couldn't use anything else. You had to go find somebody else. And we're on 8,000 acres. It got really fun. And we were driving around, and all of a sudden we saw smoke. I'm like, oh, fuck. So at that point, it's just like, okay, now we got to talk. Hey, anybody set a fire? No, nobody set a fire. Okay, cool. So we started driving close to go figure out where it was. And so we get up there and there's a little fire that just started. So we put it out real quick. And we find the culprit that started it. Right? Because immediately I was just like, that wasn't me. You know what I mean? Because I'm constantly smoking cigars when I'm down there. I'm like that.
We have an ashtray in our side by side. So,
Well, but even so, it's just
Right.
not how that works, And then, so we get up there and clear as day, you can see what was left of a half burnt filter of a cigarette. So the cigarette, somebody tossed a cigarette out side by side and it started. Yeah.
we're gonna do a little experiment while on air.
I don't like that.
I'm not gonna try to light it. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
Just took a puff off of that.
Okay.
If it doesn't light that, it's not gonna light a forest fire.
Shouldn't we have like safety equipment?
I have a hand. I'll just
Scott, scoot that a little closer to you, just so it's in frame of the camera.
so a fresh
Perfect.
paper towel.
Yeah.
It's still smoking.
It's still a smoking cigar.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if we have a tobacco factory fire or whatever here. So
Too soon.
oh yeah, that's in the news, ain't it?
It was a processing facility.
In the Dominican, I think.
Yeah. And the shitty part is like I really like the company that it happened to.
Yeah.
Aganorsa.
Yeah.
And they really like their
I think
cigars.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, it was Aganorsa's processing plant.
I thought it was United or.
Uh-uh.
I'm pulling it up. I was just reading it on Half Wheel.
Yeah.
I think Aganorsa used them. I can't remember for sure. But look, there's no fires yet.
No. I almost wish Jack was here, Jack Mandeville, so I could bum one of his cigarettes and try to do the same thing.
Are we convinced this is not going to start a fire?
Yeah, it's Aganorsa.
Science looks good to me, Scott.
But keep going. All right. Well, maybe I was wrong. I thought it was go back and go to like the news. Unless there was two different ones. All right. Are we convinced this is not going to start a fire?
I mean, I am.
Justin.
I'm
All right.
all aboard.
Now look, I think my cigar's even still lit.
It has a little dark spot on
There
it.
it is. It's still.
Yeah. There's a dark spot on the napkin.
Yeah. Right there. What's that? Universal fire, right?
Universal.
Retire.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay. All right. I guess I was wrong.
Good.
We had a question. If y'all want to hit that real quick.
Sure.
A question comes in from Alex Thompson. What are the differences between Virginia and Nicaraguan tobacco? Can Virginia tobacco be used in cigars as well?
One of them is grown in Virginia,
Yeah.
and one of them is grown in Nicaragua. So honestly, there's a bunch of different ways to answer this. The easiest way to answer it is the way I just did. And the reason I say that is because you can grow the same seed in
Justin, go 3 more stories down. I hate to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy.
You can grow the same seed in different areas. You know, you could grow that same seed, that same tobacco in where did he say? Connecticut, North Carolina, Virginia.
But I think mostly, keep going. I think Virginia, go to the next page. I think Virginia, most of the tobacco, though, is cigarette tobacco. Now, what does that say?
Universals.
Dominican facility suffers major fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I wonder if they
Are
were
these-
next to Aganorsa's processing.
are these two
facility.
different places or
What was the date on this? What's the date on the article?
6 a.m. Monday?
September 2nd. Go back to the Aganorsa.
See what I'm saying here? You guys are like gaslighting me like my wife does.
To be fair, I just didn't see
Go
that
back
one.
up, right there.
September
4th. So it's 2 days later that article came out.
I wonder if it was, huh?
Anyway.
It wasn't on purpose gaslighting, if that makes you feel any better, Scott. It was accidental.
The Army got called into his system putting it out. Man.
Well, see, but they're
Good thing they didn't call any.
No, they're in Nicaragua. The other one's in Dominican, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it was 2 different ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were we talking about? Explaining the difference between Virginia and Nicaragua tobacco.
Yes.
So you can grow the same tobacco in both places. Genetically, it's the same thing, but you're going to get drastically different product out of it because of the environmentals, soil, all that.
Have you ever heard of Virginia tobacco being used as cigar?
Maybe as some filler that somebody's done in the past, but for the most part, at least from what I'm aware of, is the majority of the tobacco that comes out of Virginia is used in cigarettes or chew or roll your own type stuff. It's for lack of better words, it's an inferior tobacco that they're not using as a full leaf. They're shredding it and putting it into whatever stuff and adding whatever bullshit they can.
I don't know enough about it to really.
I don't. I know a lot of people that have like grew up in the area and like, oh, I remember, working in the barns when I was a kid for 5 cents a day, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's super cool. Like what they do with it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. We just picked it and put it in the barn.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the extent.
Well, and I've never heard though, like I'm familiar with a lot of different tobaccos, but I've never heard anybody in the cigar industry talking about using Virginia tobacco.
You get Connecticut.
But most of the time it's Connecticut shade. It's not.
Well,
actual
I'm saying
Connecticut.
in the States,
Yeah.
you can get Connecticut from Connecticut.
There's
You
the
get
Florida sun grown,
Florida sun-grown,
which is like
broadleaf.
what 10 acres or something.
20 acres.
20 acres.
Actually, there's a handful of farms down in Florida that actually grow. The downfall is the weather's so unpredictable. It's your crops that who knows. There's actually some farms in Texas that grow. They're not very popular. I'm willing to bet that the majority of it gets used in things other than cigars.
Yeah.
But like we've had a couple farms that have reached out to us and be like, "Hey, we'd love if you guys used our tobacco." And we were like, "Yeah, we'd love it too. Can you get it to Nicaragua?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the hard part for us. Unless they already have that pipeline established,
Yeah,
I'm not going to establish it.
I can't even tell you the address to the factory and how to get there. But if I had to mail something,
Yeah.
I call somebody else. Hey, I don't know if there's another way we can answer that or not. That kind of explains
Yeah.
the how and the why.
Different types of tobacco.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
That was it this week.
All right.
It's the only question we got.
Let's go back to some of those YouTube comments because I've never looked at them.
Yeah.
I've always taken Joe Rogan's advice and I just stayed away from the comments on YouTube. I just want to see if there's anything at all that's like, I don't know, interesting at least. A lot of them were just talking about the boxes in the box factory. And
We can go back to that one a little higher, unless we already answered it. Go up to right there. No.
Which one?
this one.
Yep. How long does tobacco have to dry before being rolled? It actually gets re-wetted before it's rolled.
Yeah.
How long are the cigars frozen for? I don't remember. I want to.
So the cigars, it's a process, right? Because you can't just take cigars and just drop them in -50, -60 degree temperature and shut the lid. That they wouldn't freeze evenly. The temperature change would be so drastic it would damage the cigars.
And I don't think you can do it immediately after they're rolled either. Maybe, I don't remember.
So they put them in there, and it's a 24-hour period to bring the temperature down, and then they sit for 24 hours, and then it's a 24-hour period to bring it back up to normal temperature.
Right.
And I believe that they do that before they go into the aging room.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'll double check next time. I'm either talking with the factory or down there, but I believe because that would make sense.
Yeah. The next question is, are they shipped cold or room temp? They're shipped at normal room temp because they sit in the aging room for 90 to 100 and some days after they're frozen.
But yeah, they're not climate controlled during shipment. It's not like we put them in a refrigerated truck or anything like that.
Yeah. And you don't want to put them in the
refrigerated.
Yeah, you don't want to do that afterwards.
Um,
Does it mess with the humidity? Probably at the time, but you're not going to pull one out of the freezer and smoke it. So.
That's why everybody they suggest if you ever get cigars shipped or mailed, then they recommend you rest them for a little bit before you smoke them to let them acclimate, just because it's a natural organic product.
How do you come up with the names of the cigars? That's the hard part, especially coming up with new ones. We're brainstorming, and sometimes we knock it out of the park, and other times we leave the meeting with our head between our legs, and we got nothing. So, yeah. Any other? You can scroll through some more here. Question for us, new and not well versed in cigars and whiskey. How do you pair them, if so, to get the best flavors from both the cigar and the whiskey? I'm not big on high octane whiskey. I find yada yada. There's probably a science to pairing it. Like if a cigar, I don't know, if a cigar's less sweet, you don't want to double sweet.
Well, for instance, like
when I do it, I pick the whiskey I know I like, and I pick the cigar I know I like.
Because I know they're going to go together.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick a whiskey I don't like and hope the cigar makes it better. Or I'm not going to pick a cigar that I don't like and hope the whiskey makes it better.
I don't believe that there's a science to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you can go the opposite directions and get similar outcomes. And what I mean by that is like you can take, let's say, a sweeter cigar and get a sweeter liqueur,
Yeah.
and they would probably go well together. Or you could get like a sour beer and a sweeter cigar, and that sweet and sour would counteract, and that would probably work well together. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and I like taking
what doesn't work good is a Pete Moss cigar with anything.
I like taking the same cigar, not at the same time, but like I smoke my 762 Garrison all the time, the Rosado. So I'm very familiar with that cigar. But if I
Try different things.
try different bourbons with it, but then I try tequila, then I try, like I like doing that because then I can see what is being done.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I don't think there's a science to it.
I mean, you could probably put parameters down to be like this. In theory, this would work better with that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like, oh, well, because of the measurement of the acidity and the blah blah blah, then that has to correlate.
Yeah.
With it. No.
Like I don't like IPAs,
Yeah.
and I don't like
Now,
peaty scotches. So I'm
if-
not going to pair.
if you smoke one of your favorite cigars with an IPA, do you think that cigar would help the flavor of the IPA?
No, I think the IPA would fuck with the cigar. Like
Yeah.
life's too short to.
Life's too short to smoke shitty cigars and drink trash whiskey.
Yeah. So get two things that you like and put
Yeah.
them together.
And drive the fuck out of the car and bang that hot chick. Don't save her for the next guy.
You're going to have to elaborate because I'm sure people don't understand what you just said now. So I have a saying, like you see these guys that buy these nice sports cars, right?
Like,
And
oh,
it's-
man, so it only has 800 original miles.
Yeah, and it's like 10 years old, and I'm like, oh, you're just saving it for the next guy.
Yeah. It's like having the hottest chick in the world in your bed and you just cuddle. You're just saving her for the next guy.
Buy that Corvette and put 70,000 miles a year on it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
A year.
Yeah.
And the best part too is like when you look at some of these old cars, you look at the old cars from like the 60s and 70s now,
Yeah.
right? Does mileage matter?
I could care less.
does it
I
make
would
a
rather have a
difference?
resto mod. So,
But that's the thing. Like if you see one of these older cars and it's like, it looks beautiful. And then like they show the picture of the dash of the odometer, it's like 110,000 miles.
no, I could say, yeah, that doesn't bother me. But I could say though, like if I'm looking at an old muscle car, right, and it has 20,000 original miles, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. As the buyer, I just pity everybody else who's owned it since 1967 till now, but that didn't drive the damn thing.
But none of it's original.
I'm talking about if it wasn't all original.
Even if it was.
But I wouldn't pay a premium for it.
But you're also not going to buy a car that you have to completely restore.
Right.
So even if there's 20,000 miles on the dash, everything's new on it. All the whole suspension, the brakes, the engine, the interior, everything's been gone through because it's been restored. That's what I mean. Like the mileage don't matter.
Yeah, but because you're saying if you had the original everything from 1967,
Yeah.
that you would have to replace it anyway.
But then you could spend the same amount of money on a resto mod and
Right.
actually enjoy your vehicle instead of being like, I have this super rare
Yeah.
5,000 mile 1968 Ford Mustang, but I'm afraid to drive it because I'm going to break something.
Or it was really hard to find original shocks from 1967.
Yeah.
Like why? They're so much better now.
So I put this aftermarket coilovers on it. And this thing rips. Yeah, that's actually the bottom comment is a subject that we can touch on for a second. It says 55% tax in Anchorage, Alaska. I support brick and mortars in Anchorage, but mostly buy online. Not too many lounges up here, sadly. Only two I know of. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. Excited to try Warfighter sample when it comes in. Love the channel. Blah blah blah. But so so Alaska has 55% tax.
Yeah.
Right. Texas is 1.1 cents per cigar.
Yeah.
You don't even notice it. Let's see. Florida, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, free, no tax. And then you have states like Utah where it's a 86% tax, no cap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're buying a $10 stick, that thing's going to be close to $20 at least.
Yeah.
You know, there's some states that have a cap. They're like, yeah, we have a 70% OTP tax, other tobacco product tax, but we're capped at 50 cents a cigar. So now your cigar only has 50 cents of tax rolled into the price. So every state cigar pricing is going to be a little different. And typically it's not your brick and mortar's fault. There are some that are like, oh, this, you know, $30 cigar is now $80 here because we're dickheads.
Yeah.
But in a high tax state, there's nothing they can do.
Right.
They're not going to eat that tax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not. And technically it's charged to the end user.
Yeah.
You're just it's rolled into the price.
So we catch a little bit of hell for selling online directly to the consumer from retail shops.
Yeah.
So I want to touch on that just a little bit. What Warfighter Tobacco can provide the customer who orders from our website, they might be in Alaska. They might be in an area where there's no lounges, right?
Yeah.
So we can provide a product. We can provide a product that's going to be a good product that they can enjoy.
Yeah.
What we cannot provide is great environment to smoke it in.
Yeah.
The company in which you smoke a cigar with.
Yeah.
Customer service that goes along with all of that, right? That's what your brick and mortars provide. That's what your cigar lounges provide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like we compete with cigar lounges.
No.
Like we shouldn't be. You know, we want you to buy Warfighter from your nearest lounge, right? But if your nearest lounge is 100 miles away, I want you to smoke more than that.
Or if you go into your nearest lounge, you know, once a week, and every time you're in there, you're like, hey guys, have you picked up Warfighter yet?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. And then, you know, you do that for 6 months and then you get tired of being a broken record and you order off the website, like, hey, cigar shop, it's not really our fault. You know, that and like,
right.
We're not, you know, we're not Jewish state. We
are a small company.
Yeah, we're not a 50-year-old company with 400 employees. There's 4 of us.
We heard the other day that a lounge is upset with us because we haven't been back in there and they think that we're big timing them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That we're the big fish and we're forgetting about the little fish, which is them.
Yeah. We have a staff of 5 people. 4 people.
Well, technically 5, but one of them only does accounting and does not deal with customers.
Right. We deal with the whole United States. So if we haven't gone into your shop lately, we're not big timing you. We're small timing the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Because we don't have.
We're stretched thin.
We're stretched thin. It's not easy to hire sales reps everywhere. So I apologize. But yeah, I mean, we want customers to order from the cigar lounges and the local shops, but
if they're not there, jump on the website.
Yeah.
You know? And if your local lounge doesn't carry the size of the blend that you want, jump on the website.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be mad at you. And if your brick and mortar's mad at you, it's not your fault. It's their fault because they're not carrying the product that you want.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Like, if you walk into a shop and you're like, hey, if you have this, I'd buy the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, sweet. You know what? We're not going to order it. Oh, you allergic to making money?
Right.
I just told you that if you had this, I would buy it from you.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah. You know,
so why should I come back in and support your business? Why should I give you my money if you're selling if you're in the industry selling a product that I want and I ask you, hey, can you get this? And you say, yeah, I can get this. I'm like, cool. If you get it, I'll buy it.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to order it. Okay. Well, I'm not going to come in here anymore.
Right.
I'll go down the street and they'll get it for me. And I'll give them my, you know, like, I don't understand it.
And as a shop owner, if you think that our online is competing with your business,
email me or call me. I'll run a report in a 15-mile radius of your shop.
Yeah, but why are we competing? It should cost the same. We might have to, we might be competing with a little bit of tax, but $1 or $2, right? At the most. Is somebody not going to smoke a cigar in your shop because they can find it cheaper online? That is not me competing against you. That is That is you not providing the environment that the customer would. Most people don't care. I don't care if I have to spend an extra $1 on a cigar.
You got to think, when you're in this industry, every time you have a cigar, it's the equivalent of opening your wallet, pulling out a $10 bill, and watching it burn.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it.
So the reason I go to a lounge is because I enjoy the atmosphere, the company, the customer service. That's why I go into a lounge. So I don't know, if it just baffles me some days. So, but yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Scott, you used to own a brick and mortar, different industry, but I'm sure a lot of the ammo, rifles, all that stuff, people could also buy online.
Yeah.
Did you ever run into issues?
So we had the equivalent in that industry of what the cigar industry calls a cut fee. We called it a transfer fee.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing. You want to use our services, but you want your own product that you bought somewhere else.
Yeah.
Cool. No problem. We had two different types because we dealt with different things. One of them was a fuckload more paperwork and took a year, and one of them was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So the 10-minute one, just a regular firearms transfer is $20.
Yeah.
An NFA transfer, suppressor, short barrel rifle, machine gun, whatever it was $75. Right? That's the equivalent of you walking into a cigar shop with your own cigars and be like, hey guys, I brought these from home. I heard you guys do a cut fee. How much is it? And essentially you're paying rent. Right. So instead of buying a cigar to sit in the chair, you're just giving them $10 or $20 to rent that chair while you smoke your cigar.
Yeah. But one thing we did is we provided superior customer service. We were subject matter experts on a lot of
we
things.
did. Yep.
We didn't have the biggest inventory in the area even.
No.
Right? But we knew what the hell we were talking about.
But we sold the most NFA items in the area.
Yeah. People would,
we guys would drive across the state 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
They drive by 10 other gun stores to come to us because of the experience that they got.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. You got to think about in the cigar lounge, the brick and mortar side of it, the same exact thing happens.
Yeah.
Right. You know how many people I know that drive from New Braunfels to go to CI on the west side of San Antonio?
Right.
Right. Because of the experience. They know they're going to overpay for shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know they're going to an area where their vehicle could potentially get broken into. Like they get it. They still drive 45 minutes to go there. And they go by what? 12 cigar shops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, why? What's the reason? Why aren't the other shops being like, okay, why are people going there instead of coming here?
Yeah.
What can I do? How can I make my shop better? How can it be more attractive, give a better experience to my customers to get them to come in?
Yeah.
Or do I just blame somebody else?
Right.
Hey, I'm not busy because of these guys. Hey, I'm not busy because of that. Or I'm not busy because the guys down the street open up a new place. Constantly improve your foxhole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we beat that enough.
I know it sounds like we're shit talking, but we're really not. The industry is a really big space. There's a lot of facets to it that are kind of behind the scenes. And then the internet's an even bigger place. And the thing that I don't really understand either is if you have a retail storefront, why aren't you selling online?
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're
what year is it?
It's 2024.
How long's the internet been around?
I think it came out in like 90.
Yeah. So
early 90s.
If I have people telling me I should not sell online, it's like they're telling me to go back in time. I don't understand it.
But why don't they sell online?
Yeah.
Like it's
crazy to me.
Yeah.
It feels like you need to handicap yourself so I can catch up in the race.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. That's not how it works.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird.
I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with somebody that believes that we shouldn't sell online.
Well, there's a couple big people that have several brick and mortars. They have a podcast and they talk shit about brands that sell online all the time.
Yeah.
But they also sell online.
Yeah.
I don't really understand. I mean, yeah, and what they say is if you can't find it at your local brick and mortar, it's available on our website. That is the only thing we're ever saying too.
Fucking same, bro.
It's the fucking same.
Same.
Right?
If you can't find it at your local brick and mortar, we have it on our website.
Yeah. I mean, or I could say if you can't find it at your local brick and mortar, we're going to shut our business down. Like that doesn't make sense. So, if your brick and mortar wants to carry it, we want to sell it to your brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
We want to sell it to you through your brick and mortar. But if I can't get it in your brick and mortar,
Yeah.
then just buy it from the website. And we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
I wish I could go smoke it with you. I wish I could go provide an atmosphere and an
God,
experience.
imagine
for
having
you.
to smoke a cigar with every single person that's ever ordered.
Oh,
from us.
geez. Well, yeah. I am right now. We are.
Yeah.
This is how I'll smoke one with you.
Well, we need holograms. We need one of those little projector things. We can put it in every order. Hi, I'm John. I'm here to smoke a cigar with you.
Should we go to more comments?
That's what I'm just looking real quick.
Oh, let's go to an episode. Let's go to a different episode. Go to the episode where
This is just all the comments. So it's all the episodes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, this is all of them.
Oh, okay.
It's just in order of when they came in.
Gotcha.
Would like to hear more about the military. Would love to be on the show, but I'm not a native Texan. We're not native Texans either. Oh, is it Texas native? Excuse me.
I know you two will probably tell me to F right off, but I'd be down for another rifle build episode.
We built a rifle?
I don't remember that one.
I think we fielded a question about y'all's go-to hunting builds or something like that. And we talked for about half an hour about rifle episodes or rifle builds on one episode.
Yeah. Click on the read more on this next one right here. Yeah. I'd be really interested in hearing a professional explain just how moist each part of the cigar he's working on with is, i.e. his buncher filler. Is his bunch filler really dry, or is it less moist than the binder, which is less moist than the wrapper, etc.?
I'm going to say yes. The filler is probably, I don't know. They wetting it all down evenly, probably. Yeah, I would say it's probably all pretty even.
I know that the wrapper's more moist than the filler and the binder.
Yeah.
Because they stretch a little bit of stretch to get it to hold its shape. But yeah, the binder and the filler isn't like
it won't crack and break when they're doing it though. So it has a little moisture to it. When it comes to sales reps, what are the qualities you're looking for? How does that differ from a casual smoker? Would you consider hiring a casual smoker? It's very different. A sales rep needs to be on the road.
they need to understand sales.
They need to understand sales. Yeah.
They could teach you cigars.
Yeah.
If I have to teach you sales, well, I'll just do your job too. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's easier to teach cigars than sales. You guys gay by chance? My father is the only man that I got respect like that for. I don't know what that question means.
Yeah.
Are you guys gay by chance?
How sick would it be to share a cigar with Dick Winters in the Eagle's Nest?
Oh, bro.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, like when we were doing war, I had a moment like that.
Really?
Yeah, because we're in Saddam's palace.
Yeah. That was our Eagle's Nest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Except the war didn't end then.
no, and there was many palaces. It wasn't like the one.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Saddam was a little bougie compared to Hitler.
I don't know where the gay question.
Yeah, I
is.
don't know either.
Neither one of us are openly gay. We're military gay.
Yeah.
So it's
It's different.
yeah. We're some of the gayest straight men you'll ever meet.
All right.
That was one of those reasons why Joe Rogan says don't read the comments. Because his insult didn't even make sense.
I don't even know if it's an insult. But what does us having to be gay have to do with your dad?
Oh, there's one. When I got out in 16, qualifying was still a thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yep.
All right, let's do this. Let's kind of timestamp where these comments have come in. And then that's where we'll pick up next week and we'll just read the comments unless there's like a ton of them. But
Well, I don't know if they timestamp where the comment is in the video.
that's 2 months ago. Like,
Yeah.
just go in order.
Gotcha.
There's another one about dipping that in a cigar and tequila.
Yeah.
To each their own.
I don't think it'd ruin the cigar.
I've done it before. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I enjoy cigars.
Yeah.
Like what the cigar is actually supposed to taste. It's like there's etiquette when it comes to cigars, but there's no real right or wrong way of doing it. If that's how you smoke a cigar and you enjoy it, keep doing it.
Exactly.
Keep doing it. That's like, no, the only way you can drive this car is like this.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I can do it like this.
For example, I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody tell me how I have to smoke a cigar. And that should be both ways. Like, you don't have to listen to what we say.
No.
We're just giving you like
if there was one way to do it,
yeah,
nobody would be having these conversations.
Yeah.
I still think my favorite is when that dude lit that cigar backwards and it worked. And I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. And it did work. We tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny though? Knowing that works, if I can't find a cutter, I don't smoke it backwards. I use my nails and I bite it or I do something.
Me too. I pinch it. Yeah.
Even though I know that I could just turn it around and it would work just fine.
I think the exception is this one, the victory with the closed foot. That might be a little harder. All right.
Yeah. I didn't have any notes. The stuff that I was saving to come in on this one for.
Yeah. Current events, still a shit show.
Yeah, it really is.
We can leave it at that.
Well, it's already sold out, so it doesn't matter either. I was going to say Fink's Cigar Bash.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming up in a couple of weeks. It is actually the 21st of September here in San Antonio. But if you don't have tickets, sorry.
Yeah. It's too late.
They sell out really quick. So it should be a pretty good event. I think Dave and I are going to be there for that one. But if you are going, come by the booth. Come see us. It'll be fun. Yeah, Justin, you got anything else for us, man?
Nothing else, boys.
Cool.
All right. Well, give us comments and questions next week.
Yep.
I think it's fun to be a little more interactive with the show. So,
well, I think it is because outside of that, I don't look at them. They're So at least on YouTube, I'll look on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
But I don't. I've stayed out of the comment section on YouTube for a reason.
You guys are pretty nice to us. I thought there'd be a lot more,
right.
a lot more, but that's all right.
The nice thing is too, like I monitor all the comments because that's kind of part of my job. But but YouTube is by far where we get the most dickheads.
Yeah,
and we don't even get that many dickheads.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's nice.
Yeah.
But
we're very thick-skinned though. So if you want to be a little dickish, we can take it.
Yeah,
we could have fun with it
because I don't care.
I don't have feelings.
But constructive criticism is always good too. So
yeah.
All right. Well.
Okay. I cheers you, but I didn't drink anything today.
Yeah.
I killed my coffee before we started.
I got this C4. So
I'm not drinking whiskey. Go to your local brick and mortar and pick up some Warfighter tobacco. If they don't have it, jump over to warfightertobacco.com. And for all your smoky tree needs. Until next week.
Yeah. We'll see.
That's it. We need like a good tagline to sign off on. I don't got anything.
Yeah. Nothing appropriate.
Leave a comment of what the tagline would be.
Yeah, leave a comment with the tagline. But other than that,
go fuck yourself.
San Diego.